So, you're joining me today at Skardu International Airport in Baltistan, northern Pakistan. Very high altitude, 7,300 feet up, and it's surrounded by, the major peaks, 20 peaks over 20,000 feet tall. We're lined up on 14, and to the north and northeast we've got the highest peaks, a minimum safety altitude of 26,600, to the north 22,000, and to the west 20 to 22,000. So these are big mountains. And despite this being an international airport, it doesn't really do international flights, but Pakistan International Airways does fly ATRs and A320s in here from Islamabad on a daily basis. But all flights are done VFR, visual flight rules, in VMC, visual meteorological conditions. And as you can see today, we have a fine, clear day. Okay, probably because there's no weather report from Skardu, Oscar Papa Sierra Delta Skardu, at this time of day, because over there it's the middle of night, and probably you don't get weather reports unless they're running flights. But anyway, a little bit of housekeeping we need to do, because there are no published procedures, because all flights of VFR, visual flight rules, there's no ILS, there's no departures, no arrival. It's literally visual flying, and we're going to be doing this, taking off from Skardu in one of my upcoming flights. So I just thought I'd walk you through it, and hopefully it'll all work out. So here's the route. We're going to be flying from Skardu. Here's India, and there, Pakistan, Skardu here, right in the thick of the big mountains. We scroll in, you can see there's an MSA here of 30,000 feet, 26,000 feet, 28,000 feet. These are big mountains, okay? 29,000 feet. Skardu itself is 7,316 feet. Okay? So we're going to take off from 114, which is departing in this direction down here. Okay? And there's a little bit of housekeeping that we need to look at before we actually get flying. Because in the real world, they actually take off and they circle to the left. They might circle once, and they might even circle a second time. They circle until they're clear of the terrain. And that's what they really do. And I'll link some videos to this in case you wanted to have a look. So anyway, we're going to circle after departing 14 to the left. So left-hand orbit, we're in visual conditions, so we'll be able to keep our wings off the mountainsides just by looking out the window. It's all well and good. If there's any cloud, they don't fly. So we'll take off, circle to the left, keep circling until we're clear of the train, and then we'll do a direct to Delda, which is this waypoint here. And after Delda, got to go then off to the northeast to Almaty. Okay, so it should be a very scenic flight. I'm hopeful it's going to be very scenic. But there's just something else we need to have a quick look at. So here's the approach. This is one of my sort of impressions of the takeoff. So Skardu, you'll see it seems to have 3 runways, but actually it's only got one, which is the one here on the right hand side, or 14 left as you're looking at it when you're lined up. Okay, this is actually a taxiway. It's part military airport, so presumably they've got use for it as well. This is the old runway, this is disused. And Skardu terminal is actually here in Skardu itself. That here, where my mouse is 3 kilometers from the runway. Okay, so yeah, it's a long way away. So we're going to take off from 114, circle to the left, circle again, hopefully we'll be free of terrain, and then we can go straight to Delta. Let's see how it works out. Okay, so let's get back into the cockpit. What I haven't done is to set the QNH. Now we know that Skardu is 7,300 feet, and at the moment there is no weather at all. Beautiful. So we've got 1013 set, but that's not giving me the right altitude, because we know Skardu is 7,300 feet. So let me dial in an appropriate amount of QNH until we get to 7,300. There we go, 7,300. QNH is 1023. Okay. So 7,300 here, and you've got that dialed in to the barometric pressure. Okay, auto brake we need to set to max. Takeoff config we need to test. I've got the park brake on, so probably it'll moan at me. Oh no, normal. Let's get that. Landing lights are on, strobe is on, runway turn-off light is on, and nose wheel goes to takeoff. And we've got passenger signs, APU is off. We've got a flaps 2. Spoilers are armed. We've got the predicted wind shear switched on. We're squawking 2526, and that's on Tara. Engine start sector should go to normal. Okay, so we're ready to go. We've got a Flex 44 takeoff today. So I'm just going to get myself positioned so I've got a good view out of the window. Okay, let me get my timer going. Okay, I'm going to take the parking brake off. Maybe we've got chocks on or something. Let's have a look. Ground. No chocks. So why is the parking brake not coming off? There we go. There we go. I had it on my throttle quadrant. Okay, so good view out the front. So let's spool the engines up. Bit of forward pressure on the nose. Okay, so let's give it some welly. So Flex 44, SRS, climb, nav, auto throttle, blue. Okay, let's keep that centre line. Probably no wind. It's quite slow to accelerate because we're high. Now you begin to get an impression of how big these mountains are. We're not going to outclimb them, okay? We've got to go around the valley. Now, the other thing is, look at my navigation display. It's telling me to go right, but we're not going to do that. We're going to take off and go to the left, because that's the widest part of the valley. V1 and rotate. Okay, keep that centre line. Positive rate we have. Okay, so we're not going to follow the flight director. We're flying visually. Off goes the flight director. Okay, so it's going to keep a straight and level heading. Now you get an idea how big these things are. They're big bits of granite, aren't they? Okay, we're going to keep on. We'll set climb thrust in a second when the aircraft tells us to. We're still on runway heading. We're getting a bit close. I'm getting edgy, so I'm going to start my very gradual left turn, because we are in the initial phase of flight, so you know we're still dirty, we've still got flaps out. There we go. Climb thrust is indicated, so pulling the levers back. Climb thrust we have. Okay. And I'm just looking at my speed indication here. Okay, I'm just getting my nose down a little bit. Okay, so the speed builds rather than dissipates. Right, QNH. Go to standard. Okay, and we can do flaps 1. Speed checked.
Terrain ahead. Pull up.
Yes. Okay, that's one of the hazards of working in this area, I guess. Notice I'm not doing my after takeoff checks because I'm too busy. The co-pilot will have done all that. So I'm not going to worry about those. I'm focusing on the flying. And as you can see, we're still way below the tops of these mountains. Okay? And that's when we're just turning on now nearly to downwind. So we're going to keep going round at least one more time. Okay, and this is what they do. Okay, there's a great video, and I'm just going to clean up now. So flaps. Oops, flaps. Go to 1. Okay, just rolling out and downwind. There we go. There's a runway down there. Keep that climb going. So we've got flaps 1 at the moment. Just let the speed build till we get past the indicator there. While we're doing this, I guess we can get the turn off light and the taxi lights off. Don't want the bulbs burning out in the wheel well. Okay, and we'll just let the speed build till we get past the flap speed. And we're just about there, so flaps up, speed checked, flaps can come up. Okay, and now the aircraft can continue to climb. And you can see that we're still way below the tops of these mountains. There's the green dot, and that's important because the green dot is the best angle of climb, and we could climb at that to maximize our rate of climb in a confined area. So we keep it around the green dot and we should be good. Now you should see I'm using here the little speed indicator, the little arrow that tells me where my speed will be in 5 seconds. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. There we go. And I use that just to help me maintain that green dot speed, because we're flying visually, so we're not using the flight director. Okay, we're above 10,000 feet anyway now, so we can put our landing lights in, we can put the speed brake in, and I think they're good. Okay, so now we're just getting to the tops of the mountains. Okay, and I'm just gonna getting precariously close to this one. Oh, it's a lot of fun. Maybe they don't do it quite as badly as I'm doing it, but of course as we build up our speed, our turn radius is increasing as well. So I'm getting to alpha floor at the moment, so I'm just watching my speed. There we go, that's how you don't do it, okay? Love. What fun though. And they really do fly A320s in and out of Skardu. They really do. Okay. So you can see now that we've been climbing, we've done 2 orbits and we're not clear of them yet. Amazing, isn't it? So this time round, there's the runway down there. That's the disused runway, that's the old runway. That's the taxiway, and there's the active one. So let's keep that speed. So this time when we roll out on downwind, we'll go direct to Delver. Okay, but notice that the flight director said to do a right turn after takeoff. Well, it doesn't know there's big mountains around, so possibly it will happen in the PMDG. Doesn't matter. It's a visual departure. You fly without the flight directors, you fly visually, and you manoeuvre the aircraft by looking out the window. Okay. So as we come round now, we should be well clear of the terrain. Okay, so this is what we'll be doing. Okay, so takeoff, left turn, probably 2 orbits for as many as you need. If you've got a rocket ship like a little bizjet or something, maybe you can get out after 1 orbit. That remains to be seen. So I'm going to roll out now on downwind. So runway 14, downwind will be 320. So we're just coming up to 320 shortly. Now we're good. Okay, So we're going to keep hand flying. We're going to go to the MCDU. We're going to go to flight plan, direct to, and then do Delta. Insert. And now, there we go, the aircraft. Put the flight directors back on, and the aircraft will now take up this heading to Delta. Any second now. Any second now. Come on. Ah, maybe I'll put the autopilot on. There you go. That's how you don't do this flight. Oh dear, what a laugh. Let's have a look outside. Pretty impressive though, isn't it, really? This is Orbit's mesh. You can see that probably slightly better. Depending on what time of year you do it, this valley could be, it might not have snow in it, but the same rules apply. Okay, so let's just zoom out a little bit. Now, this is not for the whole flight, this is literally just for the departure. We've got Delta now appearing on the nav display. I've got now nav display range set so you can see at least one waypoint. If you don't see at least one waypoint, then it's not showing anything really very useful, apart from your track. Okay, so the aircraft continued to climb, and we're all good. And now we can just fly the rest of the route as normal. That's a big one down there, isn't it? As I said, it's got some of the tallest mountains in the world, this area, Baltistan. So mate, I hope that was useful. I hope you liked what not to do, maybe a little bit about what to do. We'll see you in Skardu then. Take care.